Hello everyone, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club, welcoming you to my channel. Tonight we're going to be continuing with our playthrough of Police Precinct 2nd Edition. This is episode 2. Before we begin, I have one correction from the previous episode. I had an emergency card that came out and we needed to place a punk in one of the bad hoods, and I forgot to do that, so we'll take care of that right now. Alright, so we'll be placing the punk in Bad Hood 5. And he goes right there. Alright, this is turn 7 of the game, and we'll be starting with our first player, Lieutenant Denise Sears. So far, we've managed to keep the crime marker on its starting space, so we're doing good in that department. There's currently 2 punks in the supply. And we've managed to acquire 2 pieces of evidence for our murder board. We have one of our 2 witness statements, and we have the murder weapon. Alright, Lieutenant Sears is on 4th Street. We've got one emergency of each color out there. We've got a red, blue, and yellow emergency on the board. But there is no urgency marker. So I think what we'll do, I'm going to use this opportunity to move Lieutenant Sears back to the police station. And she's going to play a card, an event card called Officer Assistance. This card says, must be at the police station. Take any number of patrol officers from the board and or supply and distribute them to any locations of your choice. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our foot patrol officers, and that'll help us with some arrests. And I think we're going to place a couple of them, 2 of them in Bad Hood 6 and 2 of them in Bad Hood 4. So we'll place 2 of them in Bad Hood 6, and that's going to help us against this gang, the East Siders. And we'll do the same in Bad Hood 4. There's 3 punks in that location, so they'll help us with arrests there. And since she's at the police station, she's going to do some upgrades. She's going to spend 2 donuts. It's going to allow us to get 2 upgrade tokens. First upgrade is going to be an investigation upgrade. She can use it once per turn, and she can draw 1 extra investigation card. Her next upgrade is going to be a movement upgrade. That says you may move your car 1 extra street. So that's going to help her, give her some mobility, and be a little bit better at doing investigations. We'll put those on her card as reminders. Now she'll draw her police card, and she's got Donut Run. And finally, we have to draw our event card, and we have Internal Memorandum, Optional Training. All players may choose to immediately move their cars to the police station, regardless of the distance, to participate in a short training course. Each participating player gets to draw 1 police card immediately. Well, I guess that wouldn't inhibit us too much. I'll do that. I'll have Sergeant Costello move there, and each of them will be able to draw a police card. We'll draw the card for Lieutenant Sears. She's going to gain Request Assistance. That's her 5th card. And Sergeant Costello will draw Surveillance. That's his 2nd event. Or I should say police card. Alright, that is going to finish her turn. We'll move on to Sergeant Costello. And I think Sergeant Costello is probably going to try to take care of those East Siders on Stickle Avenue. So for his movement, he's going to move 1, 2, and 3 to Stickle Avenue. He'll request support from the support vehicle. That'll move with him. And now he's going to attempt an arrest of those street punks in the East Siders gang. Alright, Sergeant Costello has a 2 rating in arrests. He gets 1 for the support vehicle. In addition, we have 2 patrol officers on site, so we're going to gain 2 extra dice for that. Now the strength of this gang is a 3. So we're going to need 3s in order to arrest punks. And I think she's going to also request some support from Lieutenant Sears. and she's going to play this stakeout card for its arrest ability, and that'll give him an extra one. So we'll be rolling a total of 6 dice, and we're looking for 3s. Let's see if we can get rid of this gang. All right, we've done it. We've got 3 5s. And we've finally done it. We've arrested the 3 punks, and the East Siders gang has been dealt with. That's going to get reshuffled back into the street gang deck. Now we have a total of 5 punks in the supply, so that gives us a little bit of room now. That's great. Now, since we've arrested 3 punks during one operation, Sergeant Costello will earn a donut. That's his second. This card will be discarded, and the 2 foot patrol officers will return back to headquarters. Sergeant Costello will draw his police card, and he gets officer assistance. That's his 3rd card. And now we have to draw our event, and it's revealed to be, incident report, jailbreak. Place 3 street punks from the stockpile on 3rd Street, north of the actual street space. From now on, right after an event card is actually drawn, move them 1 space, 1 street space closer to West Colfax, and finally off the map. They must be arrested like any other street punks. If they escape, they are removed from the game. Well, we don't want that to happen. All right. So we've got a jailbreak happening, and 3 punks now are in the street, and they are going to continue to move each turn that a card is drawn, and they'll move on to West Colfax trying to get off the map. So we have to arrest them before they can get off the map. Otherwise, they are going to be removed from the game, and that's going to make our life very tough. I'm going to leave this jailbreak card out. We'll place that here, and then as they move, we'll move that along with them so we know what's happening with those. And that's going to complete Sergeant Costello's turn, and we'll move on to Lieutenant Sears, our first player. We advance our calendar marker. It's now day 8. The murderer will be coming on the board when we get to turn 16. All right, Detective Sears is up next. I think we've got some time before these would move off the board. So I'm going to have her deal with that problem we've got on 4th Street with that potential gang forming on Bad Hood 4. So we're going to have her move over there. And she's going to move 1, 2, and 3. Now she has a special ability, Coordinator. She can move the support vehicle or another player's car 1 street space. So she's going to move the support vehicle 1 space. And now she's going to make her normal move with the support vehicle, and that will be 3 spaces. 1, 2, and 3. All right. And she's going to play this card, Request Assistance. That says, play this card to move any number of police cars within 1 street to your location, or move 1 police car 2 streets to your location. That's what she's going to choose. And she's going to move that support vehicle 2 spaces to her location. All right. So she's going to make an arrest attempt. She has 1 for arrests. She gets 1 for the support vehicle, and we have 2 foot patrol officers. She's going to gain 1 for each of those. That's great. She's going to request some assistance from other officers, and Sergeant Costello will play the card Officer Assistance, giving her an extra 1. So we've got 5 dice for this operation. We need 3s in order to be successful. So here's the roll. All right, we've got a total of 3 successes. It's just enough to clear up that set of punks there, and they're going to be placed back into the supply. We've got 3 punks in the supply now. The foot patrol officers will return back to headquarters, and she's going to gain a donut for arresting 3 or more punks in a single operation. That is great. Now she's going to draw her police card. She gets Officer Assistance. That's her 4th police card. And now we have to draw our event. And let's see what we've got now. It is a red event, and that's burglars. It's going to occur at a random apartment, so we'll make a roll for that. Now, we already have a red emergency out on the board, and that is an escaped convict that is located at the Vilford Apartments. So let's find out where this one is going to go. This will go to apartment in block 1, and that is going to be at the Paris Apartments. So we'll place those burglars at the Paris Apartments, and that has an unknown circumstance. This has a strength of 4. And now our escaped convict is going to gain the urgent marker, so we're going to have to deal with that pretty soon. And now that we have drawn an event card, that jailbreak team of punks is going to move one more section towards West Colfax. So 2 more turns and they'll be off the board. We're going to have to try to deal with that. Now it's Sergeant Costello's turn. He's going to try to deal with those. He's going to move 1, 2, and 3 to that location. He's going to request support from the support vehicle. And that's going to move 1, 2, and 3. All right. All right, Officer Costello has an arrest rating of 2. He'll be gaining 2 dice for that. He gets 1 for the support vehicle, and we'll see if we can get any support from Lieutenant Sears. She's going to play this surveillance card, I think, and that's going to give him an extra die for that. So that's 4. And she has 1 more card that could be played. I think we'll use it. She's going to play the officer assistance card for an extra dice. And that's going to give us 5 dice. We're looking for 3s for these arrests. Let's see if we can finalize this jailbreak. And she has rolled, or he has rolled, 3 successes. Got 2 6s and a 3. That is going to arrest all of those punks from the jailbreak. Those will return to the supply. The jailbreak is over, and he's going to gain a donut for arresting 3 or more punks in a single operation. That's his 3rd donut. He'll draw his police card, and he gets request assistance. That is his 3rd card. Now we have to draw an event, and we get the card. Uh-oh, it's a red card, vandals. That's not good. We're going to fail that urgent emergency with the escaped convict. So let's take care of that first. So these vandals are going to appear at the Commonville Hotel. All right, that's right next to the police station. So we place the vandals card at the hotel, and that has an unknown circumstance. So we'll place an unknown circumstance there, and a punk is going to come out on the board. We'll make a roll for the bad hood for the punk, and that is going to be in bad hood 1. So a 3rd punk comes out into bad hood 1. Now we have to deal with that failed emergency. So what happens is we've already had a red card out here with an urgent marker, and we haven't solved that. So what happens is this fails. The urgent marker now goes on the existing red emergency that was already on the board when the vandals showed up. So that's going to go on this burglar's card. But the escaped convict now has gotten away, and that is going to make a rise to the crime track. So with the failed emergency, the crime track will rise by 1. That's our first movement of the crime track. And that's going to complete the round. We'll begin with a new round with Lieutenant Sears. Calendar marker moves up to turn 9. And I think Lieutenant Sears is going to try to handle one of the 2 red emergencies that we've got out there. I'll have her go to the Commonville Hotel. She'll move 1 and 2 to that location. And she's going to request support from the support vehicle. That will also come in. And she'll try to handle that emergency. This has unknown circumstances, so we'll have to make our commitments of resources right now. She has an emergency level of 2. She gains 1 for the support vehicle, and I think she's going to request support from Officer Costello, and he is going to play the card surveillance for its emergency ability, and that'll give her a 4th one. Now we have to find out what the unknown circumstance is. And the unknown circumstance is revealed to be vandals respecting uniformed cops. So that means that if we have a marked squad involved in this emergency, we get to gain a dice for this attempt. So that's going to give us our 5th dice. Not all the time are those unknown circumstances bad. Sometimes you can get a benefit like we did here. Okay, we'll roll the dice, and all we're looking for now is any die to have a 3 or greater, so we should be able to get this. And we've done it. She's got the 6, and that will solve it. And she can gain a donut, or she can examine 2 cards from any investigation deck, and I think maybe we'll do that. She already has a donut, and she's done her upgrades, so I think we'll do that. This card will be solved, and she's going to examine 2 cards from any investigation deck. Well, the crime scene evidence deck is the largest deck out of all of the evidence decks, so we'll start with that one. She's going to be able to look at the top 2 cards and then put 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. So let's see what we've got here. We have nothing yet and nothing yet. So 1 card will be placed on the top and the other one on the bottom. So we've kind of eliminated one of the bad cards that we've got there. All right. Now she's going to draw her police card, and she has redirect traffic. That is her 3rd card. And now we are going to draw an event, and this time we get a yellow card, and that's not good for us. Kidnappers. That's going to be at Jake's pawn shop. Well, that's going to occur right here, and unfortunately that means we are going to fail another urgent emergency. We have a yellow card, a pickpocket at Oli's donut shop, so not good. So this urgent emergency that we've got in block 1 for the burglars is going to be discarded, and our crime rate is going to move up another point. So the city crime marker advances another slot. And now the urgent marker goes on the pickpocket at Oli's donut shop. And I think Officer Costello is going to attempt to deal with that urgent emergency on Luna Avenue. So he's going to move 1, 2, and 3 to Oli's donut shop. He's going to request the support of the support vehicle. That will move 1, 2, and 3. So Sergeant Costello has an emergency value of 1. He gains 1 for the support vehicle, and he's going to request some support from Lieutenant Sears, and she's going to play the card Stakeout for its emergency value. That'll get us a 3rd die. Now this has only a strength of 3, but it has unknown circumstances, so we don't know what's going to happen with this. Let's find out. We have a pickpocket wielding a big knife. The difficulty now goes up to 4, so we're going to be rolling 3 dice, and we need to get at least one of the dice to be a 4 or greater. Okay, here is the roll, and we've done it. He's got a 6. That is going to solve that emergency, and the urgent marker is gone. Now we can gain a donut, or we can take a police card. He already has 3 donuts, so I think we will take the police card instead as his reward. And he gains request assistance. That's his 3rd card. The stakeout card has been used. And now he's going to draw his normal police card that he gets for the turn. and that is fresh perspective. Look at the top 3 cards of any investigation stack. Put these cards back on top of that stack in any order you like. Reshuffle this stack if you wish. Okay, so that's his 4th card. Now we have to draw our event. Right now we've got 1 yellow and 1 blue emergency on the board. This one is, incident report, street riot, occurring on Stickle Avenue. Place 3 street punks on Stickle Avenue, the street space itself, not the bad hood. They must be removed like a regular street punks. No cars may leave or pass through the space until the riot is successfully handled. In addition, for every future emergency drawn, add a street punk to this riot until it is removed. Any punks in the bad hoods have no impact on this. All right, this is occurring on Stickle Avenue, and that's in front of Block 6. So we've got a street riot happening on Stickle. So punks are out on the street. We'll place that card there as a reference. All right, so we're going to have to handle this because it says for every future emergency drawn, we're going to add an extra punk there. Now, one thing I should explain, you know that we need to get the number of punks in the area on the die roll. That's our target number. Say if you had 7 punks in there, well, obviously you cannot roll a 7 on a single die. But what happens in this game, 1s are always failures and 6s are always successes. So if you had 6 or more punks, that would demand that you have to have 6s to succeed, which is very hard. All right, that's going to bring Sergeant Costello's turn to a close. We'll move on now to Lieutenant Sears. Calendar marker is at 10, so we have to get going on our investigations. We must. All right, Lieutenant Sears is on 3rd Street, and we've got to get started on these investigations. So I think what she's going to do is I'll have her move to 2nd Street, and she's going to interview some witnesses at the Furwood Apartments. So she'll move 1 and 2 to the Furwood Apartments. She's going to request assistance from the support vehicle, and that's going to move 1, 2, 3, and she's going to use her coordinator ability to move another vehicle 1 space, and that will bring that into line to support her in this investigation. So she's going to try investigating to get an interview witness statement. She gets 1 for her normal ability. She has a upgrade, so that'll give her an extra 1. She gains 1 for the support vehicle, and she's going to request assistance from Sergeant Costello. He is going to play the card Officer Assistance, and that will give her an extra draw. So she's got a total of 4 draws here, and let's see what we get. Here's the first one. Nobody home. 2nd. Nobody home. 3rd one. Nobody home. And here's the 4th one. Nobody home. All right, so that was unsuccessful. One of the cards will be permanently discarded. We'll place that in the discard. Then we have to place all the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. And then that deck has to be shuffled. She doesn't have the ability thorough, so we have to shuffle this deck. All right. And that is going to complete her actions. Now she's going to draw a police card, and she draws the card, Allocate Resources. All right, and now we have to draw our event, and this time we've got, incident report, gas leak on West Calhoun. Until resolved, immediately after an event card is actually drawn, roll a die. If a 6 is rolled, the gas explodes, causing number 1, city crime to increase by 1, a player to be sent to the hospital, but only if they were present on West Calhoun. This card can be discarded. This card to be discarded right away. 2 players must be on the exact street space, West Calhoun, to resolve the issue. If successful, each player on the street space gets a donut. All right, West Calhoun. So that gas leak will occur right in front of the Booth office tower. All right. Now we've got this street riot active, and it says here, for every future emergency drawn, we add a street punk to this riot until it is resolved. So that's going to happen. That is the last street punk in the supply. So we have no more street punks in the supply. There's 4 of them there now. So we're going to have to do some arrests to get some slack for our number of punks. Otherwise, the crime rate is going to move up for each one that we can't place. So it's going to be a priority for us. All right, Sergeant Costello is up next. Unfortunately, he's way on the east side of town on Luna Avenue, and I think we're going to have to try to deal with this street riot. There's 4 punks in there, and we have none on in the supply. So the problem is he can't get there very easily. He has some donuts that we can use for extra movement, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, I think the best thing we can do is move Officer Costello 1, 2, 3. Move him to the police station, and I think there he is going to spend some donuts, and he's going to get some upgrades. So he's going to spend 2 donuts, and he's going to gain 2 upgrade tokens. He's going to gain upgrades in arrest and in investigation. So I'll give him some bonuses when attempting to do that. That's the best we can do for right now. And if I had any cards that would allow us to deploy these foot patrol officers, I would have done that, but Officer Costello does not. So we'll move on now to his draw a police card step. He gains fresh perspective. That's his 4th card. Now we have to draw an event. And that card is a yellow one, Bank Robbers at the Stone Bank and Trust. And that's a difficult one. Difficulty is 6. We already have a yellow emergency on the board, so that means that the urgent marker is going to go on these kidnappers at Jake's Pawn Shop. All right, we'll place the bank robbers at the Stone Bank and Trust. It gets placed here in block 5. Now that's a tough one. That's difficulty 6, and it says if an attempt to handle this fails, the active player is sent to the hospital. And unfortunately, this street riot needs to have another punk placed there, and we don't have one in the supply. So that means the crime track is going to move up. So the crime track now is on the midway point. That'll bring the turn to a close, and we'll start a new round. Lieutenant Sears is up, and we move our calendar marker now to turn 11. Murderer will be appearing on the board at turn 16. And I think we're going to have to try to deal with that street riot. There's just no alternative in this. So I think Lieutenant Sears and the patrol vehicle or the support vehicle are going to move 1 and 2 into that block. And we're going to have all hands on deck for this, I think. All right, Lieutenant Sears is going to use one of her donuts to get her an extra draw or an extra die roll. Right now she has 1 for her arrest ability, 1 for the support vehicle, and 1 for the donut. And I think we're going to request some assistance from Sergeant Costello. And he's going to play fresh perspective and request assistance for their arrest abilities. They'll get 2 extra dice. So she'll be rolling 5 dice, and we're looking for 4s or greater now. Okay, and here's her arrest attempt. We need 4s. And she's got 3 successes. All right. So that'll allow us to arrest 3 of them. Unfortunately, that incident report stays until they're all taken care of, but at least we've got 3 in the supply now. She's going to draw her police card, and she gets fresh perspective. That's her 4th card. Now we have to draw an event. Let's see what happens. And we've got an incident report. Detainees run amok. This will happen inside the police station. Take 2 street punks from the stockpile and place them in the police station. The police must gain control of them before they're allowed to draw police cards again. This is accomplished in the same way as in the case for typical punks in the streets. All right, via the arrest action. So 2 punks have to be put in the police station. So we'll place 2 punks there, and we can't draw any police cards until this is dealt with. This is not good. Now, as this street riot hasn't been completely dealt with, another punk appears, bringing that back up to 2 now. This is not good. And we also have to check this gas leak. We're going to roll a die every time an event card is resolved. On a result of 6, the gas leak explodes and the crime track will move up. We rolled a 1, so we're safe for now. And now it is Sergeant Costello's turn. He's in front of the police station. I think we have to take care of these detainees run amok. So he's going to request support from the support vehicle. That'll move 1, 2, and 3 to help him. And I think he'll also request support from Lieutenant Sears, and she's going to play this allocate resources card, giving him an extra die. So he's going to gain 2 for his own, plus 1 for his arrest upgrade. He gets 1 for the support vehicle and 1 for the allocate resources. So we should be able to handle this, I would think. So we'll make the arrest attempt. We need 2s. And we've got it. All right, we've got plenty. So those 2 are arrested, and we've solved that problem. We can now draw police cards again. All right, and that is the next action for Officer Costello. You draw a police card. He gains the card surveillance. All right, and now we have to draw our event, and this time it is a blue one. We have a counterfeiter, and we already have a blue event on the board. So what is going to happen there, the kidnappers with the urgent marker is going to be failed. It's going to move our crime track up 1. So the crime track moves up. We're getting into the danger area here. The existing blue emergency smugglers at the board game warehouse now become an urgent emergency. And now we have to roll a die to find out where this counterfeiter operation is happening. It's at a warehouse, random warehouse. Here's the roll. And that is a 5, so that is going to happen at Big Lloyd's warehouse. So we're going to place this counterfeit operation at Big Lloyd's warehouse, and it has an unknown circumstance, and 1 punk is going to come out on the board. And we'll make a roll for the bad hood for the punk. And that is in Bad Hood 1, and that's going to form a gang. Oh no. So we place a punk in Bad Hood 1, and a gang will be formed, and we'll draw a gang, street gang card. And this gang is the Unadjusted. This gang is well organized and prepared for anything. While this gang is present, no police cards may be played anywhere. Oh boy, that is terrible. So that completes the round, and Detective Sears is up next. Calendar marker moves to day 12, and we're in trouble. Lieutenant Sears is up, and I think we're going to have to leave the Unadjusted street gang to their own devices for the time being. We can't play any cards, though, unfortunately. No police cards can be played. We can gain them, but we can't play them. So I think what we'll do is we'll let Sergeant Costello deal with that. Lieutenant Sears is already at that street riot location on Stickle Avenue, and we'll have her kind of work that out, I think. So she's going to remain where she is at that location. She's going to request the support of the support vehicle. That moves 3 spaces to her location, and we can't play any cards, so she's going to have to make this arrest attempt on her own accord. She has an arrest value of 1, and she gets 1 for the support vehicle. So she'll be rolling 2 dice, and we're looking for 2s to solve this. We really need to get lucky here. And unfortunately, she only has one success, so that's going to arrest one of them, but the street riot still remains. All right, so that's going to bring her turn to a close. She'll draw a police card. She can't play any until we deal with that. She gets air support. And now we have to draw our event card. And that is a yellow event. And unfortunately, the harassing guest at Stitz's coffee shop shows up. It goes to Stitz's coffee shop, and we're going to fail another urgent emergency, unfortunately. So we have failed this urgent emergency. Smugglers, that is gone. And now we have to move the crime track up. It moves us up to within one of losing the game. This is not good. I've kind of lost control here. So the bank robbers now become an urgent emergency. And as that street riot hasn't been dealt with, another punk comes back. We have 3 left in the supply. And now we got to check for this gas leak. If we roll a 6, it's going to explode and we're going to lose the game. We rolled a 4. So we're lucky for the time being. It's now Sergeant Costello's turn. Well, we're going to lose the game in a multiple of ways here. If another yellow card comes out, we would lose. If a blue card came out, we would lose. If the gas leak exploded, we would lose. So I think the best thing we can do is I got to handle that urgent emergency. If that was to go off by either drawing another blue or another yellow, we'll lose. So Sergeant Costello is going to have to take care of that. He's going to move to the Stone Bank and Trust 1-2. He'll request support from the support vehicle. This is a tough one. That's a difficulty 6. And he's going to use the card Request Assistance. Play this card to move any number of police cars within one street to your location. So he'll move Lieutenant Sears there. That will help. And he's going to request some assistance, I think, from her. And she's going to use this redirect traffic card to give him an extra emergency die. So he's going to gain now a total of, he gets 1 for his normal emergency ability, 1 for each support vehicle, 1 for the card she played, and that's all we've got. I think this is important enough where Sergeant Costello will use a donut to gain an extra die. So we've got a total of 5 dice and we need to get a 6. If this fails, he's going to be sent to the hospital. So we'll make the roll. And he's failed. All right, if an attempt to handle this fails, the active player is sent to the hospital. Oh boy. So Detective Costello is at the hospital, and now with our hospital variant, we're going to have to make a die roll and see the extent of his injuries. All right, here is the roll. And he rolled a 5. A 5 is a moderate injury. He has to discard 2 police cards and 1 upgrade. So I think what he'll do is he's going to discard the 2 police cards that he has, and he does have 2 upgrades, an arrest and an investigation. I think we'll have to discard his investigation upgrade. All right. Now, while you're at the hospital, you don't get to draw any police cards. Even though we can't play any right now, we would still technically draw them. So that is going to bring that operation to a close. And we have to draw a police card. This could be the end of the game here. And it is a red police card. We have a violent spouse. Now, that's a red card. There are no red on the board, so we're okay with that. It's going to happen at a random apartment building. Let's make the roll. Roll is a 6, so that will occur at the Vilford Apartments in Block 6. So So we'll place that at the Vilford Apartments. And now we have to add an extra street punk to our street riot. That's back up to 3, and now we'll have to roll for our gas leak. If we roll a 6, the game is going to be over. We rolled a 5, that was close, so we're okay for the time being. And that's going to bring the round to a close. We'll move our calendar track to 13, and Lieutenant Sears is up next. Well, I don't think we have much option. We've got to get rid of this urgent emergency, so she's going to remain where she is with the support vehicle, and she's going to attempt to handle that emergency. She gets 2 dice for her normal emergency ability, 1 for the support vehicle, and that's it. We can't play any cards, so this is a tough one. We'd only be getting 3 dice, and we need a 6 or greater. Otherwise, she's going to be sent to the hospital. Oh boy, I don't know if there's anything else I can do. Right now, if any colored card comes out and this urgent emergency isn't dealt with, we lose. So there's really no option. All right, I guess we are going to make the roll, and we'll just have to hope that she can get a 6 to solve this. She doesn't have any donuts, so... Okay, here is the roll. She failed. So she's going to be sent to the hospital. So Detective Sears is at the hospital, and now we're going to have to make a roll for the extent of her injuries. Here's the roll. She rolled a 4, and that's a minor injury. She has to discard 2 police cards. So I think she'll get rid of the donut run and fresh perspective. Those will be discarded, and she'll be able to operate this coming turn, next turn. And now she gets to draw a police card. We can't play any, but we can draw them at least. And she's going to gain air support. All right, now we have to draw our event card. And I think we're going to end up losing here, and that is the case. We've got an internet hacker. It's a red card. So we're going to fail our bank robberies emergency, and that would go on to the violent spouse. So we're going to fail this bank robberies emergency. The urgent marker goes on to the violent spouse, and the crime rate goes to cops fail. And our crime rate moves to the cops fail, and we've lost. And that's going to bring this series to a close. And I just have to say to the viewers, if you're looking for a challenging game, this certainly is it. It's very tough. You're playing with limited resources. You're playing pretty much whack-a-mole all across the city, trying to keep that crime rate down, but yet still finding time to get your murder investigation moving. Now, we only managed to find 2 pieces of evidence on our murder board, and we still needed, quite a bit there. We needed 6 pieces of crime scene investigation, 2 autopsy reports. We still needed another witness statement, so we were very far from being able to try to win this game. But I'll tell you, it certainly is a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. I hope you enjoyed this series of Police Precinct 2nd Edition. Until next time, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club signing off and wishing everyone a pleasant day.